Hello, everybody on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. This is Lena Lassiter. I am the founder and president of Forever Healed. And we are a nonprofit, and we help our clients who are dealing with loss of any kind to help them move through their process of grief. And we help them to restore and reclaim their lives. Because of COVID, we haven't been able to conduct our group grief recovery classes. So what we decided to do was to bring some experts and resources to you, especially this month. This is Mental Health Awareness Month. So it means so much to me. This topic needs to be had. So Eugene, thank you so much for being a part of this conversation tonight. We have to talk about mental health. You know, we will, if we break our leg, we'll go and we'll get mental treatment. But when it comes to matters of the heart or mental health issues, for some reason, we're just reluctant to go and get the help that we need. So Eugene, he is the owner of Positive Life Behavioral Health Services. We're going to be talking to him tonight about the impact of mental health on youth and men. So thank you guys for joining us. Let us know that you're here with us. Comment, please ask us any questions, and we'll be more than happy to address those. We'll be right back after this video message. I'm going to introduce Eugene tonight, and then we're going to talk through the impact of mental health on our youth and our men. You ready, Eugene?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, we'll be right back. All right. Hello, Facebook. Hi, YouTube. People who are following us on Instagram. Nice to see you guys tonight. Thank you for joining us. I have Eugene here. We got some comments.
Yes, good evening.
Rhonda Clark is joining us. Austin.
Hey.
Hi, Doris. Hey, Rochelle.
Hey, hello.
Hello. Patricia Brown. Good evening, Chastity. Hello. So tonight I have with me Mr. Eugene Austin. So Eugene Austin is a Philadelphia native who came to Richmond, Virginia in 1984, where he attended George Wythe High School. Mr. Austin would later return to his high school alma mater due to his passion for mentoring youth and young adults. Eugene, you know, I graduated from that school as well. You know that, right?
Oh, yes. Go Bulldogs.
Yes. Mr. Austin received his Bachelor's of Science in Criminal Justice and a Master's of Arts in Human Service Counseling from Liberty University. Mr. Austin's zeal for the human service field has given him the opportunity to work as a correctional officer. Whew, that's deep, sir. A detention center counselor and qualified mental health professional. Mr. Austin also continues to work in the human service field as CEO of Positive Life Behavioral Health Services. The agency works with individuals who have a mental health diagnosis, assisting them with various services, including educating the individuals about symptom management, medication management, coping skills, social skill building, budgeting skills. Wow, Eugene. And linking individuals to community resources. Mr. Austin is married to children's book author Regina Austin. Hey, Regina. Both are members of Divine World Changers International Ministries, where our pastor, Derwin Hickman, and co-pastor Francois Hickman are our shepherds. And Mr. Austin enjoys boxing, listening to gospel and jazz music. He likes fine dining and spending time with his family and friends. Welcome, sir.
Hey, hello.
Thank you so
everybody.
much for being here.
Yes.
Hi, Dr. Jackie. we are actually going to have Dr. Jackie join us sometime this month as well. She's a psychologist, and she's going to come and just talk about the stigma of mental health. We have a lot of speakers that can come on this morning and talk about mental health. We have actually co-pastor Shelley Francois Hickman from Divine will be next week about mental health in the church. We have Kizzy Gray that's going to be talking about just self-care. We have Reverend Powell, who's going to be coming by and talking about our pastors and self-care for our pastors and mental health for our leaders. So we have some awesome speakers coming up this month. So again, Mental Health Awareness Month. Guys, this is so important. Tonight, we're going to be specifically speaking to the impact of mental health on youth and men. But again, throughout this entire month, we're going to be just touching on this topic, just different elements, going deep into mental health. Why is this so important to me? Eugene, I don't know if you know this, I think you heard my testimony, but as a kid, I suffered from depression and suicidal ideations and didn't know, how to deal with all of the emotions that were going on. Didn't trust, certain adults to express what I was going through and how I was feeling. So this is very important to me. So I think the more children that we can help with mental illnesses and we can get them healed before they become adults and start hurting other people because of their hurt, oh my gosh, it's so important. And then as a mother of two males, a lot of time men are taught to be strong, right? And not cry and all these things, all these myths. And then they don't go and receive the health care that they need. And although women attempt suicide more than men, but men actually are more successful in suicide. So I know you're going to touch on some of this tonight. So again, I really appreciate you being here. So youth.
Yes, thank you.
Youth and mental health. So talk to us a little bit about awareness when it comes to our youth and mental health.
Youth and mental health. The mental health of our children matters. So we must treat our children's mental health just like we do their physical health. And what I mean by this, me and Minister was having a conversation earlier. If your child gets hurt, so your child gets hurt, you're going to make sure they seek medical attention. So it's the same thing for the youth. Mental health should have the same awareness and attentiveness as well. So you should be aware of your child's mental health. So mental health is knowing the signs that our children may be experiencing. So they may, even if so, can seek the professional help to help them become sustain what they're going through. So yes. So mental health with our children is very important. A lot of times as parents, we don't think that our children are going through anything, and then in times in our household, the children they won't open up to their parents. They'll talk to their friends about it, before they talk to their parents. And I know my personal experience, when I worked at the school, children would even talk to me before they talk to their parents about things they were experiencing. So you want to be aware. So you want to learn about science. And then we're going to go into factors in early prevention, because you want to have early prevention so that you can stop something from growing to a bigger issue, a greater problem. And like I said earlier, the mental health of our children does matter.
It does, and these kids today, Eugene, I mean, they just deal with so many things, right? So sometimes they're going through like the divorce of their parents and bullying in school, just the pressure of trying to stay, academically, like keep up their grades, and just the pressure, the peer pressure of, just other children. So absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about factors. You mentioned that earlier. So what are some factors when it comes to mental health in our youth?
Some of the factors with the youth, one of the biggest factors is environmental factors. And this is can be even a child's home environment, the neighborhood. You know, if you have a child experiencing in the home trauma, abuse, neglect, that can cause a child to have, to experience mental health. Child may, when you experience it, if you're going through abuse, you might isolate, stay away from others, not want to communicate, not trusting others. It can be, they can just develop trust issues with family. And if you got trust issues with your family, of course, you out in the community, you're going to have trust issues.
Yeah.
So that's one of the factors I want to talk about. And even when I say environmental, because dysfunctional homes definitely are a big issue. I myself personally have done what they call intensive in-home counseling, and I've seen firsthand how dysfunctional home environment can cause a child to experience mental health issues.
Wow. Wow. And it's good to be able to recognize that, because a lot of times, especially if the children are abused, they're probably not going to say anything. They're afraid of saying anything, right? Because they're abusers. They have to go back home to those abusers. So what are some of the early preventions that we can take?
Early preventions, it usually really, like I said before, it begins at home. And I also say it begins in the school environment as well, but it starts at home. Both of these settings can be instrumental to helping the child build their confidence, competence, and foundation of self-esteem. That's why I said earlier, if you have a dysfunctional home, you're not instilling those values. You're not instilling confidence. Instead of confidence, you maybe experience fear, neglect, instead of no competence. So, and this can be achieved by providing a safe and secure home environment. That's important to a child's mental health. This can be where you got love, respect, and building trusting relationships with family and friends, and adults and community. That's why I was saying earlier, if you're building a strong in your household with your child, a rapport with adult, then they know how to go out in the community and also deal with other adults because they know about being around that kind of support, so to speak.
Hey man, I like how you said it starts at home.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kind of building that foundation at home. Yeah.
Yes.
So what are some signs, Eugene, that we can look for, like as parents? So, if your child is going through some mental health challenges, what are some signs that I should be aware of?
So signs, basic signs, and this is, when it comes to seeing signs, you want to look at frequency. The child experiences more than they should, because like one of them is experience sadness or hopelessness or irritability. We was children before, and we have children. We can come, even as adults, we can become sad, hopeless, or irritable. But at the same time, if this is going on like 4 or 5 days a week, if this all the time, the child constantly, frequently anxious or worried, are they scared? Are they fearful? And remember, all this is frequency of it. Are they consistently angry? And this is important also. This is why we must watch our children. Alcohol and drugs, that's a major factor, major issue. When you should be aware if your child is involved in substance abuse. We avoid people, like I said earlier, with isolation. And then we go deeper. Your child come to you and say they're hearing voices or saying things. We have people who have those diagnoses and they are real. You can't just dismiss this from your child. You're okay, but you may want to go deep and say he may or she may need some help. Also, does your child talk about suicide or death, minister? I know you can, you know about that as well, dealing with the grief. Your child constantly talking about death. That's a serious topic. You need to listen. That's why you must have awareness. So these are a few of the signs, when it comes to our children and mental health.
All right. So what solutions do you have? What can you share with us?
Solutions, communication is key. Talk to your child, let them know it's okay to talk to you. It's okay, to feel how they feel and see what's actually going on. Like I said, if they telling you they're talking about death, you need to know what's going on. So communication, I would say, is hard. Get with your children and do problem solving activities. Spend time and study. If your child is angry and your child, say y'all play games, have game night, and you notice your child has a temper and gets upset, then you might want to do problem solving activities. Hey, look, show them how to teach them about sportsmanship.
Right.
So it's set fair and consistent boundaries. We reward positive behavior, but of course, you want to also set consequences for negative behavior as well. It doesn't have to be harsh discipline, but boundaries need to be set. And last, I would say seek community resources as needed. When we talk about the youth, they have so many, even from the school point. You can get help from when your child entered the school to after school. And I'm talking about, we have services such as day treatment. I spoke of intensive in-home earlier, intensive in-home, outpatient therapy. And sometimes our children also need psychotropic medication, which can be prescribed if need be.
That's good. So thank you. Talking about the children, I mean, again, it's important because a lot of times, even for kids, they don't even know how to express, how they feel, right? They can't even put it to words. And a lot of times, like you mentioned with the grief, people just feel like I can't even describe how I feel. So you can't imagine how a child, right, whose brain is still developing and learning how to cope, they don't know how to express how they're feeling. So thank you for the signs, because a lot of times, that's them acting out because they can't express, how they're feeling. So great tips. I want to shift now and talk a little bit about the stigma, like mental health when it comes to men. So again, I have 2 adult male, children. And a lot of times as parents, sometimes we will tell our young boys to be strong, like suck it up, be a man, punch him in the chest kind of thing. And then what tends to happen is that they suppress their feelings, right? So again, I mentioned this earlier, and I want you to talk a little bit about this when talking about men. Although more women attempt suicide, than men are more successful because they use the lethal, ways of taking their lives. So I want to kind of shift and get into that a little bit. So when it comes to men, is it the same type of awareness, or does it differ a little bit?
The frequency of mental illness in men is often lower than women. However, men are likely to have received mental health treatment than women. As you said earlier, we got to show that we're strong. We don't want to show weakness. So we're more or less vocal about speaking on our mental health issues.
Yeah.
Like on a daily basis, studies says 9% of men experience depression on a daily basis.
Wow.
6 million men even experience anxiety. So we do, as men, we experience mental health, same as women, but it's just the way that that we go about like speaking on it. Most men don't want to communicate. Like I said, one of the preventions is one of the solutions is to talk about what's going on with you. So now we are selecting who we talk with. But I do notice that as far as awareness, we have to communicate, and that's the stigma. And you was talking about how we as far as suicide, most men are more likely to carry it out. And when they do it, they, like we said, it's volatile. They go the most violent with like guns, for instance. So but it's definitely something that needs to be put out on the front more, that men need to be more aware of their mental health, because, and honestly, we are in control, we head our households. So your mental health should be intact. I'm not saying we have to be that strong that we cannot discuss what's going on with us, but have take care of your mental health just as much as you're taking care of your physical health.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's just as important. And you said something earlier, and I want you to share that again with those who are watching us live. You were saying that it starts here. It starts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything starts in the mind before it goes into the physical. You have a thought first before it becomes an action. So if you have your mental health intact, you're least likely to react in a negative manner or something, or you feeling depressed or something. You may want to go in and talk to somebody. And for me personally, I would say it can start at the house with your spouse. One thing I want to say with this, that's why a support system is needed also. It's very good to have a support system.
Yeah.
Where you can go to certain people and discuss, what's going on with you. Yes.
So what are some factors when it comes to the men?
But of course, we spoke on it earlier. Societal expectations, gender roles. We taught men to be strong and not to show weakness. That's one of the factors. We spoke of this earlier. Men are likely to suffer in silence. Rather than get help, we'll just go through it without even seeking any help, because we try to be so strong, but ultimately we're really hurting ourselves. It's just like your physical health. If you're not you're silent about your physical health, eventually those health issues are going to show up. Same as mental health. Eventually, the mental health issues are going to be on display in some shape or form. Also, another factor, substance abuse. Men, instead of talking about their problem, getting help, they look to other things to try to help them overcome this. Alcohol, drugs, whatever. Yes.
Yeah, because and a lot of times, the men, especially when they even come to grief recovery, what they say they do, they go to another man's house, right? If they're grieving or going through anything, and then they drink. They may watch a sporting event, but they don't talk about like how they feel.
Mm-hmm.
They just kind of sit there, drink,
Yes.
watch a sporting event, and then they leave, and they don't talk about how they feel.
And that's suppression as well. That's an example of suppressing their feelings through the alcohol.
Yeah.
Or even drug use without communicating. Like you said, you go instead of having that conversation, suppress it, and then you leave there. You could have had a conversation that may help you out, but you leave there feeling the same and maybe even worse.
Right. So early prevention. Are there any things that men can do or for early prevention?
One of the things is our health. We have to take care of our health. Once you take care of your health, it'll coincide with taking care of your mental health as well. Does my physical and mental state have the ability to perform functions needed to live a fulfilling life? Safety and security. Are there environmental or personal factors that affect my ability to live a fulfilling life? And I spoke earlier, men also can be exposed to violence, just like the youth. Environmental. So, if you have safety and security, maybe you can reduce the impact of mental health or your mental health. Avoid substance abuse. Avoid using drugs to suppress substance abuse and alcohol and drugs to suppress your feelings. Or communicate. I spoke earlier, communication is key. Tell somebody, talk, don't be afraid. Use resources. It's the same as I was speaking on with the children. There are resources out here as well, community resources, outpatient therapy as well. Mental health skill business, my company does. You have a lot of services in place out here that can help you with what you need for your mental health.
Very good. Thank you. So what about signs for men?
Signs, the signs for the men, some of the signs for men are similar to signs for the youth because mental health is broad, and if you're impacted by mental health, if you have depression as a youth, you also have the same type of signs. So we look at anger, you see anger, aggressiveness, and what I said earlier, frequency. It's the frequency of these signs that you look, you notice, not just isolated, but if they're happening more than they should. Noticeable changes in mood, difficulty sleeping or sleeping too much, difficulty concentrating, worry, excessive worry, and once again, misuse of alcohol and drugs, sadness, hopelessness, suicidal thoughts. So engaging in high-risk activities, life-threatening activities. So those are some of the signs you want to look for with men when dealing with mental health. And once again, you're looking at the frequency that these are happening.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And what solutions would you suggest for the men?
So I know I spoke on earlier, same as when I was talking about early prevention. So communication, once again, seeking professional help, seeking resources, depending on the severity of what's going on, which we have crisis stabilization out here. As I mentioned, we have mental health skill building. You have also doctors who can prescribe you psychotropic medications if it's needed. So the resources are out here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Eugene. We do have some questions. Yes, you guys are sending questions in tonight. Thank you. Hi, Charvette. I see you. Charvette, I'm telling you, if you want to propel your business to the next level, you reach out to her, business coach. So she helps us, Forever Healed. She's been pushing me to get out here and do these live videos and share just resources and information with you. And awesome business coach, marketing. You need anything like that, please reach out to Charvette Mitchell. Hey, Charvette, good to see you. So again, guys, so this entire month, we're going to be talking about mental health awareness. We have so many topics coming up this month. Next week, again, we're going to be talking about mental health in the church, right? So how we put our mask on sometimes in the churches and we pretend that we're well. So we're going to have co-pastor Francois Hickman just pouring her heart out about just mental health in the church and with women. So women, we haven't forgotten about you. We're going to be talking about self-care with Kizzy Gray, just giving us points on self-care. We have Dr. Jackie coming, Jackie Maxwell coming, and she's going to be talking about just the stigma on mental health and, the African-American communities and just minority communities. So we have so much coming this month. So not just on Mondays. So I thank God for that. Again, what we're trying to do, because we cannot offer grief classes right now, is to provide our clients, our listeners, anybody on social media with resources, Eugene, just to help them heal. This is not a time for competition. This is not a time, for us to be competing against one another. If we truly want people to be healed, we are going to share resources. We're going to share expertise. So this is what we want to do. I want people to know there is hope. There is hope beyond what you're feeling. And if you're that person who feels like taking your life, I want you to know that you matter. And there are resources out here that can help you. I hope that you glean from, Mr. Austin's presentation tonight. We do have some questions for you that I'll share with you. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're going to get to the questions, but again, I just want to share with you guys why we're doing this Mental Health Awareness Month. We have to break the stigmas. So we're trying to break the stigmas. We're going to have speakers all month. So one question, Eugene, do treatment modalities differ largely for men as opposed to women?
As far as receiving treatment, it varies amongst whatever the mental health diagnosis that you're dealing with. They both really can have the same treatment process, and which can include, as far as like I mentioned, getting services, mental health skill building services, or getting medical attention for psychiatric help. and that's where the psychotropic medications come in.
Okay. Here you go. Due to the COVID-19, those with mental health issues are unable to get help because they are isolated. Who can they call for help?
He said, due to the COVID-19,
Yeah.
let me see the question again.
Due to COVID-19, those with mental health issues are unable to get help because they are isolated. Who can they call for help?
Well, we still have essential workers out here who can assist them with that. And I mentioned earlier, mental health skill building is what I do. We reach out to agencies such as mine. You still have RBHA out here because what they're doing now, they're doing telehealth. A lot of services are being conducted through telehealth. So you still can seek help, outpatient therapy with these agencies, the type of organizations.
Yeah. If you notice that a child is depressed and they have shut down, how do you help them get through that?
One, like I spoke, communication, and how often is the child shutting down? You want to find out why are they shutting down? Because if it's something that's going on in their home, in the school, in the community, you want to find out exactly, if you can see find out what the issue is prior to moving forth and seeking additional help. Like I said, it starts at home.
Yeah. So Lo, how do we persuade our men to seek counseling before it gets to the point of crisis? So many men feel badgered into it. Yes, thank you for asking that question.
How to build? You have to build. That's why men have to build a rapport with other men and communicate. And we can't be so hard that we're scared to tell another man that you're experiencing something that's not normal with you, to being excessively moody, angry, something is really bad, something not right with you. You want to be open up. So man, we need to learn how to open up and communicate. Even myself as a husband, I have learned that, even though that's what helped me, because I work in the mental health field. So a lot of times you going into these sessions, you can see, sometimes it's real dark. And I try not to bring it home. So I try to have a conversation with my wife, and there's something going on with you, and I try to open up. And that helps me release instead of suppressing what's going on with me.
Yeah, and I would also say, just add to that, when I'm, talking to my clients about grief, and men, they don't want to come and talk about grief and take a grief recovery class because, again, they feel like they are fine. So share with them, if you were to break your leg or something physical was wrong in your body, you would go seek the medical attention and tell them, hey, I want you here. I want you healthy, so that way they're not feeling badgered, but you're telling them that you want them healthy. And again, you just use that analogy. Like if you broke your leg, you would go seek help, so there's no difference in your heart being broken or you having some mental health challenges. So it's a way that we can say it to not feel like we are badgering them. That was a great question. Any other questions? I want to thank you guys for submitting your questions. You can still ask questions, and I'll have them out on Facebook, and I can reach back out to Mr. Austin to make sure that he responds to your question. We thank you guys for joining us tonight. If you know of any, parents who are dealing with children with some mental health challenges, please share this video. We're going to list some resources at the end. Like it, share it for us as well. Even men who you feel, may need to see this to help soften their hearts so that they can get the help that they need. Because again, everybody, men, they are more successful in carrying out, the act of suicide versus women because they use lethal, they typically shoot themselves. So they are more successful, in that. right now during this COVID-19, they're talking about the suicide rates being up. So we just want to speak against that right now. We want to, again, just share hope, share resources to let people know that they're not alone. I want people to know that they matter. And Eugene, you were saying that there's a 211 number. Is there a 211 number for mental health?
Yes. It's just like down to 911, 211. They have so many resources from A through Z, whatever, crisis, mental health, shelter, homelessness, whatever you're dealing with, they can assist you.
All right. So we're going to put up some helpful websites. I want to thank all you guys for joining us tonight. Thanks again, Eugene. This conversation.
Thank you for the opportunity.
I appreciate you taking your time tonight.
Thank you.
Have a blessed night.
You too. Thank you. Good night.
Good night, everybody. Eugene, you still there?
Yes.
211, is it nationwide? Let's knock that out for Solo real quick.
211, I believe
Is it nationwide?
21. I know for Virginia.
Okay.
If you're in the state of Virginia, yes.
In the state of Virginia, Solo. All right. Thank you, guys. Have a blessed night.
Yes.